Hi, y'all all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Yes, I am back. Hi, y'all all. Welcome back.
This is not a recording.
I'm welcoming myself back. No, it's not a recording, Brandon. I appreciate you pulling that out. Just we had a little trouble most of the week. Just to let people know real quick, Maddie's doing great. It took a while to get her there. Sunday was rough. We went through about 4 seizures, which normally doesn't happen. She's had a lot of seizures, but not like this. It only happened one at a time when she had the flu, and she had a lot of them. And anyway, once we found out it was flu, everything that was treatable, we were able to do something about it. She had a virus, and so this started Sunday, and it went through Monday, and then the Tuesday, and then yesterday we woke up. She had gotten better.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she's throwing up and coming out both ends, and she was basically with a virus, dehydrated, which caused the seizures. And so you try to do everything you can before you run them to the emergency room or run them to the hospital. And we felt like we had done everything we could do. Appreciate everybody's prayers. And then we got her to the emergency room yesterday, and she ended up taking 2 liters of fluid. And that she looks like a new person. When we left the emergency room, we didn't have to stay overnight or nothing. Once they did that, she really did well. And she did well. She was able to eat and keep some stuff down. And then this morning she was up before I left. And we're going to keep her home from school. But it was just a rough week. So that was kind of thrown together. That's why Brandon had to do the best of it. Really was not even enough time to even try to hunt people up because it was a last-second call. And I had really scheduled to do the program at the house so I could be there to help. And good thing it worked out exactly like I thought it would. If something went wrong, I could be there, and I was. And, of course, Tanya's the nurse, the real smart one in the family, but you got to have that support system, and that's what we do have at our house. So anyway, Maddie's doing well. She rested well. She ate better yesterday. She actually came outside. I was working around the yard. Came out there and talked to me a couple of times. I thought that was good and positive. So thanks for your prayers. Got a bunch of them. A lot of people from the program, Facebook, things of that nature. So we're grateful. Once again, we're thankful. It's not something we harp on. We just move on and keep on going, and that's just the way it is. Somebody asked me today that, how do you handle seizures? I said, whatever's placed in your life, you learn to handle. You either learn to handle or you get beat by it. So you learn to handle it. So we handle it. And I don't know what else to say, but we just deal with what we got to deal with. People deal with a lot worse than Moon Griffon deals with, I can promise you. So we're gonna be thankful, thank the good Lord for her every day. And, just keep getting up every day and doing the best we can with her. And she's back, smiling, happy. Hopefully get her back to school. I don't think tomorrow. I think we're going to wait till Monday, make sure she's totally healed from a little virus. But the little virus for her, you don't understand, when fever comes on Maddie at our house, gets to be the real deal. It's everything else doesn't matter in life. We got to deal with it. And, you cannot run to the emergency room every 5 seconds. We did get her tested for flu. We did bring her to the doctor. We did all that stuff that, you normally do. But anyway, it was a tough Sunday night because the bad seizure was midnight. So we had to deal with all that. But once again, we're going to just pick up and move, and everything's good. Life's good. God's good. And we'll just pick up and move another day. And thank God we got another day to go. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Folks, how bad is Hillary Clinton? I want you to think about how bad she must be. Nobody wants to vote for this woman. And if you don't believe what I'm saying is 100% right, why is the press? I've been watching elections since Ronald Reagan. And the press has been bad on the right or anybody in the Republican, just say Republican ticket, whether you think Trump's on the right or not. I've never seen a campaign like this. I'm just being honest with you. I've never seen a campaign where the press, and we now know from the WikiLeaks and things, are so tied up into a presidential campaign as they are with Hillary. She has to be one horrible, horrible, horrible person. Why do you say that? Because all the stuff they beating Trump up with, the new accusation of groping women. I told y'all this was coming. There's no telling what we're going to hear between now and the deal. They held it, holding stuff, going to rip him and roar with him. How bad is this woman? She must be the worst candidate, even worse than Obama. And we already see how bad he is. This whole election ought to be on Obama. This whole election ought to be about the worst president that we ever had. What he's done to this country, not for it, to the country. What he's done to inner cities. What he's done to us. with his illegal immigration, what he's done to us with the health care, open borders, and I go on and on and on, economy, what this man's done to us. This is what this whole election ought to be. Where are we in this country? But it's not. It's all about how can we beat up a man to put a woman like Hillary Clinton, and I have no problem voting for the right woman, a woman like Hillary Clinton in the office. How bad is this woman? Probably should be in jail. She's so evil, and yet she can't pull away from Trump, and they beat him up every day. Rasmussen has Trump up 1. The L.A. Times has it even. Some of them have Hillary up 5 and 6. Some of them have her down. I mean, how bad is this woman? Nobody wants to vote for her. That's what I tell you. Look, folks, I never claimed to be bright. Never going to. But I can read this stuff. Hillary Clinton reached a peak in August. She was never going any higher. Okay? Trump can go higher. Trump will be beating up 12, 15 points if the press wasn't so involved. We know because of WikiLeaks, they're heavily involved in this. They're heavily involved in this campaign. They are her. It is her campaign. I heard Newt Gingrich say that yesterday. I don't listen to Hannity a whole lot, but I did hear him, and I thought, that's it. Her campaign is the press. They know Hillary can't go up. They know Hillary's not drawing people to her deals. They know this. So what do? Beat the heck out of the person that's running against her. Now, you notice, Brandon, under no circumstances did I defend Trump. So, I hate one to email me, you're defending with that. I never did that. I never defended anybody on what they're doing. I know this. Every man, woman. I spoke at you were there, Brandon.
Uh-huh.
And I offered my American Express card with an unlimited balance on it to anybody in the room, and there was one lady in there, one that I saw, maybe a couple more, and I apologize about it. And I said, you can have the credit card from the time you were 18 to your age right now, if you would feel like they could have taped every single conversation you had. Nobody came up to get the credit card. I had it. I was going to hand it to them. Go spend what you want to spend. Because everybody agreed with me. But boy, the press, they're having a heyday with this. And, of course, weak Republicans, which are a lot of them out there, they running behind this. Hillary has to be bad, folks. How bad is this woman? How evil is this woman? Nobody wants to vote for her. That the press has to make sure she wins. Listen, Juanita Broderick, who accused Bill Clinton of rape, Hillary tried to silence her. If they was flipped around and this was Donald Trump, they would be interviewing this lady on every single station. They would interview her. They'd interview every one of those women. They'd put it out there every second of the day. But no, Juanita Broderick, exclusive Breitbart, the woman who accused Bill Clinton of raping her twice, said Hillary Clinton attempted to intimidate her into being silent about the alleged rape. That's what Hillary did. But see, this is another thing I notice about this election. If Trump is accused, if he's just accused, if Trump is just accused, if they make an accusation, it is facts, they run with it. If it is facts, it is the truth, and they pound him with it. Automatic guilt. But when Bill Clinton was president of the United States, and what he did with a 21-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever it was, intern, which ought to made everybody go crazy, they defended him. They defend the left on any accusations, on anything that's true. But you let Trump, I told y'all what was coming. Whatever Trump did, whatever he didn't do, it doesn't matter. All they got to do is put it out there and they run with it. You had something you want to tell me?
I was going to save this for like the very last minute, but I've been seeing this because you brought up Republicans, and this just came in my email. I want to hear if you're shocked when I read this headline. Tea Party Express endorses Senator John McCain for re-election. Here's the quote from Tea Party Express co-founder and chief strategist Sal Russo. I've known John McCain for over 40 years. He's always been a leading advocate for a core Tea Party goal, reducing the size and intrusiveness of the federal government. He has never wavered in his opposition to the out-of-control spending that has pushed our country to an unsustainable national debt. We need this leadership to continue. I just want to hear from some Tea Party people about that.
Every group out there nuts up sometime, I guess. You know?
I was trying to find Joyce Lindy's email because she was of the Tea Party here locally for a while, and wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to watch, but it doesn't matter what they accuse Trump of. When Bill Clinton really did something, They defended the heck out of it. Folks, the press, how bad is Hillary? How bad is this woman? Look what she thinks about Catholics, Southerners, rednecks, needy Latinos. I wonder if she did use the N-word. All right, we take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I do have an open line for you. Take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Never seen a campaign like this, folks, ever. Been voting, 55 for 37 years I've been voting. Never have I seen a campaign like the press is always to the left and pushes, but never have I seen the press have to bail out probably the worst candidate that's ever run for office, and bailing them out they're doing. And every second of the day, they bailing her out. And that's all they're doing. That's their campaign. Clinton, WikiLeaks, they call millions of Americans basket of deplorables. This is what's amazing. They're sitting there calling people names that are going to vote for them. Could you imagine somebody getting them and call you mammy-eating mother, brother, sister, brother, I'm voting for her. I like her. They don't think much of Christians. They don't think much of Catholics. They don't think much of Southerners. They don't think much basket of deplorables. If you carry a gun or have a gun, First Amendment, Second Amendment, you believe in states' rights, they hate you. They even hate the voters that vote for them. They really do. They just got to put up with them because they got to have them to vote. A top campaign advisor and liberal allies openly mock Catholics, Southerners, and a host of other groups, according to the newly released emails. I mean, she hates people. This woman does not like people. That's why the press has to prop her up. Democratic leaders, supporters of Bernie Sanders, are self-righteous whiners. They called Hispanic Party leaders such as Bill Richardson needy Latinos. They called CNN anchor Jake Tapper a D-I-C-K, and even lambasting longtime Clinton ally Sidney Blumenthal. They don't like people, folks. They just need them to vote for them. They're trying to blame Russia for the emails and the leaks, but the bottom line is they don't want you to look at what they said. With Trump, it's what he said. With Hillary, it's who let it out. Well, Russia must have did that. They don't want you to look at it. That's right. They don't want you to look at the economy. The press doesn't focus on how bad the economy is. They don't focus on how bad our job market is. They don't focus on how bad letting illegals come across here that don't want to assimilate. People that have blown up, raped, and murdered. I ain't said all of them. But it doesn't matter. They're here illegally. It wouldn't have happened. They don't want you to look at the health care system. Read about the health care, Obamacare. There was a Democrat that came out yesterday. I forget Minnesota. Democrat. Man, he loved Obamacare when he took it. You know what he's saying? Obamacare is a failure. It's a flat-out failure. But you don't see the press pushing that, right? Because it's an election. They don't want you to miss the real issue, Donald Trump. And what Trump said 27 years ago and 15 years ago and 5 years ago. They don't want you to miss that. But they do want you to miss that Obamacare is a sickening part of the system that this guy's brought into this country. And Hillary's going to do worse because she's going to the Supreme Court. They don't want to talk about that. Trump. Whether it's true or not, they're going to talk about it. Just amazing to watch what's going on. They want you to focus on, that Russia. But Montoya said, we call on Hillary Clinton to apologize. The fire of staff is engaged in a vicious anti-Catholic bigotry, according to Trump. She's assaulted Catholics, Christians, rednecks. I got a red on my neck, right? They don't like people like you and me. They just got a fool enough. They don't really look. Obama and Hillary really don't like to deal with blacks. They don't. They don't want that. They just got to get the votes. If you don't think I'm right, let's go find out what's improved in inner cities. The best thing happened under the Obama administration was for illegals who can walk in this country for free. That's the best thing going. He'd rather the illegals than the inner cities. People, you got to open your eyes at what's going on here. Without the press, Hillary would be toast. I don't care what the quote Trump did or said. I've never seen in my life of all my voting life, the press in the tank for the worst candidate, the worst person that could be president besides Obama, they're pushing him on and on and on. Just popping. They don't care. They just mourn. Obama mows down Christians every chance he gets. Yeah, but I'm a Christian. Mows them down and defends Muslims every single day. He did it again. He did it again. Obama ridicules Christians who say they forgive Donald Trump. Ridicule them. He wouldn't ridicule a Muslim or somebody, Islam, and no way, under no circumstances. Folks, just watch what's going on. This is phenomenal. All right, let's go. Is that Gene? Gene in Lafayette. How you doing, Gene?
I'm okay. You know what makes me mad? Is that they're touting 61% of women are voting for Hillary. There is, you know what? There is not a thinking woman in this country who could believe that. I mean,
let me tell you something, Miss Jean, and I think you're smart enough to see this, and I've said this before. Hillary was as high as she's going to get in August. So what the goal is to do exactly what it's doing. I ain't voting. It don't matter. Hillary's going to win. Trump can't win. That's what they want because Hillary can't move up. So they got to bring Trump down, and this is what this is all. I don't believe any of it. I'll wait and see what happens Election Day. But their goal is to slam him, and if he's breathed wrong, they're going to get him.
Oh, great. Is there anybody that doesn't believe? I mean, come on. We all know who Donald Trump is. He is not a politician. He did not live his life as a politician would.
In other words, he was not a fake.
He was a billionaire playboy.
You heard me?
Billionaire playboy. That's who he was. And I accept that because of the policies that he promises that he will pass. Trade and economics and jobs and immigration. I am voting for the man for that, not for his past. And I know that most thinking women must believe as I do. I can't believe they wouldn't.
Well, all I'm telling you is you got a lot of people buying into the press. You remember they're pro-Hillary. They are the machine behind Hillary. Without the press, she would already be done. Toast, wouldn't have a chance. But their goal is to help Hillary. The way they can do that is to bring Trump down. Nobody wants to vote for this woman. Think about all the stuff they said about Trump, and yet Hillary can't pull away. Unbelievable. And you got to run. Thanks for the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline if you'd like to be part of the Moon Griffon Show. Opportunity for you to be a voice. You may see this thing totally different than me. People say it's over, so I don't buy it all. The press wants you to believe that. They want to depress people. Remember, the goal of the press is to take anybody interested in voting for Trump and get them not to vote. Hillary cannot win the election outright. There's no way. People don't want to vote for her. They're not going to vote for her. The key is to pull people off of Trump. That's all they got. And I've never seen journalism this bad in my life. I do not consider it journalism. This is what happens in third world countries. The propaganda machines go out and get with the left, and they continue to put. Nobody's talking about the economy. All the issues that matter, we're not even talking about. That's what the press is winning. They got you talking about all this stuff over here while our country is declining, especially the last 8 years. Debt, $20 trillion. That's not even in a conversation. Press don't write about that. You go back and look at debt talk under both Bushes, and you'll find stories over and over again about it. Not the press on this. They're not talking about jobs. They're not going to interview real people with no jobs and these part-time jobs that people have. Nobody's talking about that. And there's Boehner saying the Supreme Court is where the action will be. Well, yes, put Hillary in there. You think. You just think. And folks, you can't tell people. There's some people that are just not going to listen. It's like talking to the wall. Why is the issue Trump? The issue ought to be Obama and what they've done to this economy and to this country. Open borders. She wants open borders for everybody to come in here. I mean, you start looking at the issues, Hillary Clinton's not right on any, and now all of a sudden, her and Al Gore were out of place, and man-made global warming is the topic. Ho, 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 ho. That's a winning issue. If that's a winning issue, we are lost. We are a lost country if man-made global warming is an issue. But it will become a real issue. All I got to do is get the right president to change the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court changes to the leftist views that they will have, absolutely man-made global warming. If you argue about it, they're going to stop the people that are not bickering about what's going on in this country and voting with Clinton. They're not going to say a word until they come to get them. Then they're going to say, well, hold on. Well, we voted with you. It doesn't matter. I've just never seen this, folks. I may be wrong. You tell me if you've never seen the press this bad. I've never seen them this bad. Let's go to Jim in Dry Prong, Louisiana. Jim, how you doing?
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
There's two things. Number one, I want to say I hope your daughter gets better.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A lot of pain for you and your bride and your children. So.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The other thing is you have to look at Hillary. She's running crazy. The reason she's running crazy, if you remember the $30 million from Arabian countries and $40 million, and more that come besides that and everything like that, she has promised them something if she gets in to be president. Now, if she doesn't get in to be president, they're not going to let that go. They're going to assassinate her. That's why she's running.
She's gotten a lot of money from them people over there. I'm sure. Look, I know Hillary enough to know I've been watching her enough. If you got money, you can buy influence.
That's right. And she's going to give something away here in the United States that's going to hurt us.
Yeah.
If she gets in there, and they're not going to let that go by. They're going to take care of her and her husband, and that's why she's so scared now. That's why she's trying anything to knock Trump down.
Well, it's not. But it's not her. The campaign's being run by the press corps.
Well,
we found out that Donna Brazil got the questions and stuff for the CNN debate. I mean, it's one thing after another with these people. The DOJ, Department of Justice, they in with her. The Obama administration. I mean, it's all one big group.
Yeah, the Department of Justice, when she was sworn in, she said she would not go by the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. She would go by what Obama told her.
Yeah.
But just things like you're right, everything like that. But they're running scared. I mean, things are going to hurt. If Trump gets in there, there's going to be a lot of things changed, and I hope he does.
Matter of fact, what's a shame was thanks for the call. What's a shame is that all the elitists know it on the Republican side too. Somebody says we're on a fast track becoming Cuba, Venezuela with the dictatorship government. Look, if Hillary Clinton can win and get the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court votes against everything we believe for, and they start, I mean, they could change everything with a Supreme Court vote. You got to understand that, but there's some people, I ain't voting. Well, then don't vote. That's a vote for Hillary because the press has won. The press is trying to win this election for Hillary. She has no options. She cannot run on anything. And if you start talking about the issues of what's evolved around this country, energy, open borders, Obamacare, debt, and in a way, and you keep, I can go on and on, Hillary gets beat 70-30 because it's Obama's agenda. So we're not looking at issues in this race. Nobody cares about the issues. What did Trump do? What did he allege to do? That's all we need. We just give us something else. I think there's more bombshells to come. But Hillary can call people deplorable. Bill can call people hate the rednecks. They can hate Catholics, Christians, Jews. Hate them. I'm talking about hate them. It's cool. It's all cool. Unbelievable. Carlton and Rayville. How you doing, Carlton?
Pretty good. How are you, Moon?
Doing fine, sir.
Well, first I'd like to say I always like to joke that I'm to the left of Obama. But it doesn't mean.
Hey, Carlton, I love you. I love you already, brother. You'll help make my point. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man. I'm messing with you.
Okay. It doesn't mean, even though I'm to the left of Obama, it doesn't mean that I don't want to see Republicans be competitive. And right now, I don't think the Republican Party is in competition. I feel like Republicans' obsession with Obama has facilitated these extreme Republican Party views that have been expressed offensively and unapologetically, and it's created this vacuum in the party that's going to be continuously filled by candidates who are basically unelectable based on the country's demographics, which essentially makes this a one-party country. And that's what I don't want, because I feel like that's a real threat to democracy.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just tell you this. If you heard me at all, Carlton, I tell you there's the ins and outs. There's the ins and outs. There's not Republican and Democrat. There's ins and outs. The Republican Party, I'm not a Republican anymore, and I can't be. Hypocrisy is unbelievable. But if they would run and they would govern like they run, with balanced budgets and holding people to the Constitution and not giving in, they would win and the country would do better. If we go the Democrat Party, not the Democrat, back up. We go the ins and outs way, we're going to continue headed in the direction we're going. Example, inner cities. Inner cities have been problems way beyond before Obama got here. Just as bad as they were after Obama leaves. Going to probably be worse. There's been no improvement there for inner cities. Inner cities can go up and vote for Obama, and they can vote for Hillary, but I can promise you tomorrow when they wake up, it's still going to be in a rough place, a lot of it drug-infested, and things going on there that people don't even want to know about. But even the left who gets to vote, they don't do anything about it. So, the Republicans, to me, have gotten away from constitutional things done right. If our country wants to go towards socialism and Marxism, which is the way the left has taken us, Republicans included in that, this country will fail. It will never be the same. It will never be prosperous again. You can't go that way. I can show you every country that's headed that way or in that position now. Their people are really poor. They're really uneducated. They really are controlled. That's where we headed at, my friend. That's where we headed at.
Well, do you think? Okay, let's think about Medicare and Social Security. Those, I would say, have socialist aspects to them. But aren't those the things that are holding up the economy right now?
Let's answer why. Social Security was for people who paid in and employers paid in, that they would have money when they got out. Okay? You talk to somebody, and I'm one of them, that's paid in Social Security. Okay? I would have liked to not have Social Security. I'd like to just have my money and do my own investment. But since the government said we're doing it, it should be my money. It's broke. Why is it broke? It's broke because politicians have spent the money. They've expanded it to include a lot of people that never paid a penny into it. That's why that's broke. That's not more of a socialistic program. Okay? The Medicare, you said Medicare program of helping people and stuff like that has become a ration pay government system. Social Security in itself would not have been a bad idea, but I think people should have been able to opt in and out. What's bad about it is the government spent every single penny. They got more to pay out than they have coming in. They've destroyed that because they have a spending problem. Think about this. And the President of the United States, Obama, said Bush was unpatriotic and it was un-American to run up $4.5 trillion worth of debt. He's run up 10. Nobody's talking about it. The press is not talking. That's a real issue. Not an issue in this race. We are not even talking about issues in this race, Carlton. Not at all. Hey, Carlton, I got to go. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. No, Carlton made some good points, and I appreciate him calling. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you want to be part of the program. By the way, Congressman Charles Bustani will join us at the top of the hour. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Folks, am I the only one? When y'all looking at this election, I know you're pulling your hair out. I just read an article. I stressed everybody's out over election. Don't be stressed out. Do something about it. That's all you can do, folks. Sometimes life is what it is. But our country's been changed from Barack Obama. It hadn't been for the best. People are going to see it. The people that voted for Barack Obama, they may never realize this is where the really downturn started because they don't want to. Okay, they choose not to. So the next president will get tagged for it. Hillary will be just such a disaster. It's going to be a soap opera. I predict Bill will not be welcome to the White House. I predict Bill will not. Once she's won, she'll got what she needs. Her health is not good, and she will tell Bill just to fly away.
Well, I mean, she got her most use out of him, if that's the case.
That's all she ever did was wanted use out of him. She got the use out of him. Let's move on. Calhoun, we go. Willie, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, glad to hear that Maddie's doing better.
Thank you. Doing a lot better, and we're thankful right now, really are.
Two things, man. One thing, first of all, I'm very disappointed that I voted for Ralph Abraham. He gets up there, and you think he's going to treat you like you voted for. You know what he says in his campaign. He gets up there and he gets in the middle with all those guys up in D.C. That's the only reason I can figure that he did what he did, speaking against Trump, was because Paul Ryan told him to.
Yeah, but Ryan got some people to help him, because if Ryan's going to be the Speaker of the House, Abraham probably feel like he needs Ryan more than he needs Trump. And the bottom line is, if people would vote against Abraham, they'd send a heck of a message. I think he'll win, but they can send a heck of a let him win with 51.1%. He'll wee in his pants. Seriously, he'll wee in his pants.
I called him, and of course I had this recording. I couldn't talk to him, but I told him, I said, Congressman Abraham, you got my family's vote this past time, but the next time we're going to think long and hard before we vote for you again. And that's the truth. That's not a threat. There's a lot of people that I talked to.
Willie, did you see it? Brandon saw this. Did you see the picture? It was on Drudge of Obama with an erection on a plane with the press showing it to everybody. That's out there right now.
Yeah,
this is the President of the United States showing this, and the press didn't cover this. The press don't even care. It's Trump. Destroy Trump, destroy Trump, destroy Trump, destroy Trump. They don't care about the issues. They don't care about the country. And this is what happens in third world countries. It's how you lose your country.
And to the previous caller you had about the Republican Party, let me remind him, right now we own the Congress. Republicans own the Congress. So let me remind him, Republicans own most of the governors in the United States. And let me remind him, the Republicans own most of the houses and senates in the United States. Now, it may not make, in our case in Louisiana, it doesn't make any difference.
No.
But in some cases, Republicans do run the state.
Yeah.
So, him talking about the Republican brand is going. I'm not a spokesman for the Republican Party right now. They're on the bottom of the list as far as I'm concerned because of the way they've done us. So anyway, let me remind him the Republicans, except in the White House, because they have the New York Times and all these big newspapers that are helping Hillary. Now, if it were fair square, Trump would walk in there with about 75% of the vote.
Oh, I guarantee you, if they were calling this just up and up and they wanted to talk about one thing, talk about the other, it'd be different. That's why I asked the question earlier in the program, Willie. You may not have heard it. My question is, how bad is Hillary? How horrendous is this woman? How horrendous is that people don't want to vote for her? Let's break the other guy down to his knees. We got to embarrass him, or Hillary can't win. And yes, it's still a close race. Hillary can't win. Trump has to lose for Hillary to win. Hillary cannot win.
I know. As much as they're bashing him, and Clinton has just got a slim lead as far as that goes. Now, that ought to tell these people something. She ought to be running away with it.
Rasmussen has him up 1. The L.A. Times has it even. Now, I didn't go look at state by state, but all the swing states, he's right there, all within positions to win. And the thing about it is, though, when the press continues to pound, we forget what the real issues are. The real issue is Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. They are the issues. The economy, what they've done with illegals. I mean, there's so many stories they could be reporting, but they're not. Hillary has already tanked to the top, and she's going to go. You got to bring Trump down. That's all this is now.
That's right.
Anyway, got to run. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, man. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Lafayette, we go. Mr. Mike, how you doing, sir?
Good morning. Fine, sir. First of all, I want to say I enjoy your music every day. And your break.
Well, that's my producer that does that. So he smiled when you said that.
he has a good taste in music. Anyway, the previous caller was talking about Social Security, and there's a lot you didn't mention on there.
But it takes a long time to talk about Social Security.
Well, I know. With Social Security, it originated as a voluntary program, and you could choose to get in or out. Later on, it became not
mandatory.
That. I mean, they mandatory.
Yep.
and I don't know if you remember, I'm a little older than you, but in the 70s, if I remember correctly, the Social Security Fund was they televised that it was about to become self-funding. It had enough in it to become self-funding, and they were going to have to consider, reducing the contributions. And then when government saw that, they decided, oh, well, let's go get it and we can spend it.
And they did spend it, every single penny.
And they did. And I think that is not one, but just a symptom of the same old government issue that, for instance, me personally, I have never liked Trump, but I think the grassroots effort behind him is an in-your-face to government and the media that we're going to go after it and get it done. We're sick of it.
Hey,
that's what it's all about.
Mike, it is. Listen, they've picked who they want to keep. They want the elitist status of this country to stay in shape, to stay in the same position.
Absolutely.
Going back to Social Security, listen, it was designed, it was at one time, I think there was 15 people paying in it to one beneficiary. Then it went to 12 to 1. Now I don't even know if it's 1 to 1 now. And what happened was the government every year, because they have a spending problem, saw that pot of gold and they'd take it and spend it. And they'd take it and spend it. And they've been doing that now for 25, 30 years or longer. They spent all the money.
Oh, yeah.
Then they started adding special benefits because they said, look, we got this money here. Why can't we add this and that? So now this person's getting it and that person's getting it. And that person on disability, they go get it from Social Security money. That's why it was destroyed. And so somebody like me at 55 that's paying a lot of money to Social Security, I know what the sheet of paper I get telling me what I'm going to be worth at 62, 67, and 70. I don't know if it'd be worth the paper that it's written on. And so Social Security, in all fairness, but listen, when you call it a socialistic program, okay, I can understand you wanting to say that, but the bottom line is talk to somebody who's paid in like me. You made me pay in. You made me do it, and now I want my money when it's all said and done because you made me pay in.
It was SSI. Yeah, it was SSI to begin with, Social Security insurance, and then it became a tax.
Yep.
But I signed up for it the first day I was eligible because I didn't trust that rock star to change the age to 80 overnight.
Yeah. Somebody told me when I get 62, I better apply. I told them I can't. I won't be able to. I have to wait till I'm 67 or even 70. I'll just go out and keep working. If the good Lord give me health, I'll be working. Anyway, I got to go. Thanks for the call. Congressman Charles Bustani, running for the United States Senate seat, joins us when we get back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Let's jump gears from all the presidential stuff. United States Senate race right here in the great state of Louisiana. Congressman Charles Bustani, my special guest. Congressman, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Moon, great to be with you.
Well, Congressman, I got to believe this. If you look at elections, and everything's been on the presidential. The Senate race has picked up somewhat, but I got to believe this. I believe most people will be glad when all this is over, especially the candidates.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff over the weekend with the presidential where Trump came under fire. But I'll tell you this is Clinton diversions. This is classic Clinton tactics. They want to take the election away from the issues because the Clintons are horrible on the issues. And keep in mind, we should not get diverted by this. Look, I endorsed Donald Trump back after the Indiana primary. He's our nominee. I'm still supporting him. I still endorse him. And the fact is, we got to do everything to get him over the hump here and to win this thing because if Clinton wins, think about what she's going to do with the Supreme Court, with appellate courts, district courts. It changes this country. And they're trying to hide that. They're trying to create this fog and diversion to keep people from showing up to vote for Trump.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. If you take the seat, and you got a very good chance of being a United States Senator, if you take the seat, Congressman, is there anything you can do about the Supreme Court justices? I just think the way that, the Republicans said, okay, Mr. Obama, we're going to let the election determine who the next Supreme Court justice is. Is there anything to stop one, or is it, what do you do? Because some of them are going to probably be pretty bad.
Yeah, I would think so. I think the key there, if we get a Hillary Clinton presidency, God help us, but I'll tell you this, in the U.S. Senate, I would work hard and try to enlist colleagues on the Republican side to go down there and filibuster it and try to see if we can hold it up as long as we possibly could. That's the one tool you got. Yeah. And then just try to really, highlight the bad background that some of these people will have in terms of what direction they'll take our country. But the one tool you got is to go down there and filibuster and hold up Senate proceedings and hold it out as long as you possibly can. And you got to have the guts to do it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to put this on hold," and then not follow through. You got to have the guts to do it, and that's the key.
Yeah. There are things that beat people back. I mean, they've beaten Republican candidates back before too. Now that don't mean you eventually won't give in on somebody. Because eventually they'll probably get somebody that they want in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is one of the big issues, and the borders are another big issue. Now, there's a lot of people. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's a big issue.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. And, keep in mind, think about who Hillary Clinton would appoint with regard to borders as the Secretary of Homeland Security, for instance, and some of these other positions. That is another area where the next United States Senator has to have guts to look at that record and go down there and do everything you can to stop somebody with a bad record on this. But it's not just the past record. You got to sit down and talk to these folks, and you got to ask them the right questions and understand them, and sort of be crafty about trying to figure out what exactly they would do. Now, they can lie to you, and God knows a lot of them do that. And if they do, and that's what you end up getting, you go down there and you got to filibuster. You got to fight it. You got to fight, and you got to show some guts.
Hey, go ahead. No, go ahead and finish.
No, I think that's what the American people want to see. I think for too long we've had a lot of guys in the Senate who, they say, "Oh, we don't like this guy. Oh, we're going to put it on hold," and then they cave. You got to go down there and then follow through. Filibuster it if you firmly believe it's the wrong person. I will do that. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Congressman Charles Bustani running for the United States Senate right here in the great state of Louisiana. Yeah, Charles, one of the other things that needs to be addressed is, with $20 trillion in debt, something 19, 20, whatever the number is, ridiculous. And it's just about doubled or right at doubled under President Barack Obama. What can be done about this? Because every time the vote comes up, I hear from both sides of Republicans. Some say you got to do this, or we're gonna get in trouble. And the other side say no, we need to cut it now. What's the right answer? Because it is not getting better; it's getting worse.
Yeah, well, you got to look at what's driving it and have the guts to actually look at it and actually offer real solutions. So let's look at what's driving it. Number one, we need more economic growth, obviously. You can't do this with 1% to 2% growth. You got to get the economy growing to 3.5%, 4% and get more people working. And why is that important? Because we got only 2 workers for every beneficiary on Social Security. We got 2 workers for every person on Medicare today in this country. That's not going to cut it. You got to get that number up. We got to get more people working, and that means fixing welfare. And if you don't fix welfare, and get able-bodied people working, we're not going to be able to solve that side of the problem, and we won't be able to cut the welfare rolls, which is another big driver of the cost.
Go ahead.
On Medicare in particular, in addition to all that, you got to get healthcare costs down. That means we've got to repeal Obamacare and replace it with a real market-based healthcare system, and you got to understand what drives healthcare costs and how you keep the eye on quality and lowering the cost. I know how to do that. I mean, I've done that in the hospital where I worked, and I know how to do it broadly with policy. But you got to have a Senate that's got the guts to step up and do this stuff. And I haven't seen any action or any willingness to work with us in the House to do it.
Yeah. All right. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Hey, listen, Social Security is basically broke. I know we're paying benefits out. But it's about $4 trillion worth of, if you really IOUs in the bank account. Is that going to ever be addressed?
Yeah.
By the way, am I right by telling you that? It's a big old problem.
Yeah, we're headed for a big problem with Social Security and the trust fund. Even if you include the IOUs, it's still not solvent. And the problem is, with 2 workers for every beneficiary, the math doesn't work because it's current workers paying for current beneficiaries. It's not what you paid in, you get out. That's the problem in the design that goes all the way back to 1935. Fact of the matter is, if we don't get more people working, we don't get people who are able-bodied back into the workforce and get them off of welfare, and we don't grow the economy in conjunction with that, we can't solve it. And so that is the key. You're not going to cut beneficiaries. People paid into this, they expect to get the benefit. You can't cut seniors, but you can do some things to make adjustments down the line that don't affect current seniors and current and people nearing retirement. Mm-hmm. You got to plan ahead, but you got to get more people working. 2 to 1 is not going to make it.
No,
it's not going to.
There was a time when this thing started. Congressman, I think it was 15 to 1.
Yeah, 15
big
to
number.
20 to 1. Yeah. So, I mean, look, when you got too many people in this country not working, and we haven't seen this kind of unemployment in a very long time. Of course, back in the 70s, we had a younger population, so the burden with Social Security wasn't as bad. But the fact is, now it's bad. You got to get people working, man. Otherwise, this American economy is going to sink, the debt's going to rise, and we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, it's no doubt it looks like we're headed back, and you can book. Hillary Clinton wants to just tax businesses, tax people, raise income taxes. It's unbelievable what she wants to do to the country.
Yeah, that's their answer for everything is to raise taxes. Yeah. They want to raise taxes. You look at Hillary Clinton's tax plan; it's a disaster.
Well, I read it. I was saying how I was going to butcher me and butcher businesses, and it gets us pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It hits everybody. It hits big business. It hits small business. It hits the working guy. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a terrible idea. This is a recipe for disaster. We know what we're going to get with the Clintons, and that's why they want to raise all this stuff up on Trump to really obscure what this election's all about. But this election's about whether America is really going to be a great country, continue to lead in the world, continue to have a vibrant economy that creates opportunity. They want to hide all that, and that's the problem.
Yeah, this whole thing has become Trump bashing because they know nobody. How bad is Hillary? If the media, all their goal is to see how much they can knock Trump down. It says she's pretty bad.
Yeah, they got the media on their side at the national level, and it's been pretty relentless. Trump's been pretty tough to withstand it. He's got to hang in there and be tough, and I'm confident that he'll do it. I'm doing everything I can to support his candidacy. As I said, I think he's going to do fine in Louisiana. I'm worried about the rest of the country. Yeah. And the fact is, he's going to need help with good, strong U.S. senators who have ideas on how to solve these problems and know how to get some things done in the U.S. Senate, because that's been one of the big hurdles. George W. Bush saw that as a problem when he was, president back then. So we got to get some new blood in the Senate that knows what they're doing.
Congressman Charles Bustani, we'll do it again. Best of luck in the Senate race.
Hey, thanks, Moon. Good to be with you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Quick break. More to come. Your calls as usual. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. And by the way, I had a guy rip me as an idiot and a liar about Social Security, Brandon. Yeah. Rip me as an idiot and a liar. Social Security wasn't broke. I wonder what kind of Kool-Aid he drinks. Hillary aid? Obama aid? We'll take a break. We'll be back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Hey, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. You know, Brandon, if I really wanted to eat right tonight, I'd head over to Shucks. Hey, you should head over to Shucks. Shucks is some of the best Cajun cuisine you can put in your mouth right there in Abbeville, Louisiana, and also located off Holland Road in Baton Rouge. But I tell you what, for great Cajun cuisine, my good friend David and Bert, they know what they're doing. Waitresses have been working there for a long time. So when you walk in, you feel like family. You want a family atmosphere? Think about at your house, family atmosphere. Well, it was great to go be with the family. That's what you get at Shucks. It's a family atmosphere. That's how it's set up with great home cooking, buddy, because they know how to cook the Cajun cuisine at Shucks. Yeah, they're known for oysters, but they're known for a lot more. They're redfish, they're grilled or baked redfish. Their shrimp are so big, folks, I'm telling you. Get the shrimp salad. And when you eat, it's going to be hard to eat all the shrimp on there. They provide a great service for you, but the food is excellent. Great opportunity. If you got groups out there from ball games and stuff, just give them a call. They'll set it up for you and get you ready to roll. Shucks in Abbeville, just go to the end of 167 South. You will run right into it. Here was the email I got. Moon, I listen to you just about every morning, and all you do is lie. Fact check. Hey, this is what they told me. Fact check. Social Security is not broke. Let me send him a fact check. Hey, Mike, fact check. you are an idiot and a fool. I just talked to a congressman. It's about $4 trillion in the hole. But this is the kind of stuff I get from people so uninformed. So uninformed. Oh, man. I just laugh. Folks, I never said I was always right, but Social Security is broke. People are concerned about getting Social Security in one day. Social Security is paying out benefits right now. Nobody's denying that, but will it pay out benefits in 10 and 20 years? And why does the left, Hillary Clinton's plan to tax Social Security? People getting Social Security are going to tax it. That's money that's already been taxed. I thought. Especially in my case. I pay 100% of my Social Security because I'm self-employed. But this is what I get. So I don't like to mention people's name on there like that. But Mike, you want to be an idiot, then live an idiot. But don't you send out, fact check me. Social Security is not broke. The fact is it is broke. Just because it's paying out benefits, and it's broke for many reasons. And people that paid in it expect their money out of it in 62, 67, 70, whatever age they want to do it at. So, anyway. All right, Warren in Milton, Louisiana. Warren, how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, how's it going? I prayers with you when we heard the news.
Oh, thank you very much. She's doing good. She's doing really well, and we hope we continue to stay down that track for right now. She just has a low immune system, and so when she gets a virus, a fever, it's all hands on deck at the Griffon household, I promise you. And my nurse Ratchet, my beautiful bride, she's very good at taking care of her. So I just kind of the pitch-in guy.
Well, it's sad to see when children are in pain. All those children in overseas right now that don't even they're getting wounded and don't even have parents to take care of them. It's heartbreaking. But I want to talk to you about Murder Incorporated. I don't know if you're familiar with the Clinton Chronicles.
I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, I saw the video, and I just think that it's so outrageous that they're talking about Trump groping people when these people have murdered and done untold things to people, and it's just unbelievable. But that's my comment. Where's the outrage? What's wrong with people? These people are murderers, and people say, well, I don't want to wish Hillary nothing bad. It's justice. It's justice.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call. Yeah, people can go pick that up and look at it. I know what you're talking about. Let's go to Kathy in Horton. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing fine, Moon, and we've been praying for Maddie.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Answered prayer. We're thankful, really thankful.
Yes. No, I just wanted to ask you about, I know you've heard, I hear it several times on the radio, it's about Charles Bustani and things he has voted for and with Obama and money he's gotten. That doesn't seem to be being addressed at all. Are you...
Well, that's something the candidate puts out. I would tell you, whether it be Charles Bustani or any of them, voting records matter. Voting records matter on every candidate that's out there. And what you got to do, Kathy, as a person looking to decide who you're going to vote for in Senate, is go look what their voting records are. I think I'd tell that to Bustani, Fleming, Kennedy, even Bananas Foster has a voting record. I'd go tell them all. And go look at their record. And that's why you have to make that determination on who do you think's the best person for the Senate. That's all part of the process. And, people put stuff out there. It's up to you to go find out if it's true.
Right. I understand. I know who I'm not voting for. But
Please tell me you're not voting for Bananas Foster.
Oh, no. I'm not voting for Bustani either.
As long as you're not voting for Bananas Foster, people will think you're not out there in Fruit Loop land.
Oh no, I'm not out there. No. But Bustani comes on and he talks about how conservative and how he's against this and this on Obama, and he's done so much with Obama and taken money from these these foreign dictators, and nobody's questioning him about it.
Once again, like I said, that's the determination of an election. You got to determine any of these candidates, who you like, who you don't like. 90% of it's going to be based off their voting record and what they've really done. And so that's what people have to do. Here, we got to run. Thanks for the call. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. It's your opportunity to be a voice. Anybody want to defend Bananas Foster? I love to hear that. What would be your defense? We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice. Don't forget to check out my good friend at Bobby John's J&J Exterminator. You know, Brian, I showed up at the house yesterday, and I had something around my house about 6 inches, and it went all the way around a brick. And I kind of went, oh, we got a water leak? I didn't know what it was. Well, I didn't know they had came by, J&J had came by, sprayed, left a note on the door. My bride had gotten inside and seen it. I thought water was leaking around my house. I was going, oh, my God. Then, so I picked up the phone because I hadn't even talked to my wife yet. I called Bobby John. Mr. Bobby. Man, what's wrong? I said, just wanted to make sure because it just hit me. Maybe they had come. And they had come and they'd serviced me. And he explained everything because I had to water the lawn, and he said it won't affect it at all. That stuff's going to sit in there to protect your house better. So that's the kind of service I get when I deal with J&J. No, you may not call Bobby John. If you have a problem, you can. But that's the kind of service you'll get with J&J Exterminator. You're going to call them, find out what's going on. They may come to your house when you're not there, and you want to know what's going on. You pick up the phone and call them, and they'll tell you exactly what they did. And that's what they did. I am so happy to be using J&J Exterminator at my house. And I'll tell you what, if you see a bug around my house, it's usually dead or dying. That's what you want from a pest control. And that's who J&J is. Statewide, can take care of you anywhere in the great state of Louisiana. J&J Exterminator. You don't need to remember with one name. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be satisfied from day one. All right, Jack in Natchez, Mississippi. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, I'm in Natchitoches.
Oh, Natchitoches. Well, I'm putting that all on my producer. Go ahead, Jack.
I got you. Hey, and this is all said tongue-in-cheek, but you wanted somebody to defend Bananas Foster.
Yes, sir.
Do that.
Okay.
See the great things he has done. First of all, he's taking care of himself.
He's done that even through the oil and gas industry. The people that he hates more than God himself.
How many people in this state can't take care of themselves and need the government to take care of them? So he's done.
Good point. I can't argue with that. He has taken care of himself.
Number two, he has preserved our environment. You know, as utility commissioner, he could have had us, upgrade our utilities with underground utilities, with internet routing, the fiber optics and stuff like that, and he saved this state from being all trenched up in the name of technology. And
and don't forget, he earned his money right out the ground. But environmentalists don't want any drilling or fracking or anything. Foster made all his money like that. But of course, the environmentalists, the global warming nuts, think that's who they support.
Yeah. Another thing he's done, he's created Louisiana jobs by stopping these underground utilities because these telephone poles got to be replaced with Louisiana trees.
Yeah, that's true. Once again, killing trees. I wonder if the environmentalists knew that before they endorsed him. Anyway, appreciate the call. I get you drift. Thank you, sir. Mary Landrew to endorse Caroline Fayard Friday, October 14th. National World War II Museum, Forbes Theater, and Miss Mary Landrew. Don't say anything about Mitch being there, but Mary, that ain't good. All right, Will in Bossier Parish. How you doing, Will?
Hey, how you doing? This is the place to talk about controversial subjects.
Oh, not here. We don't like to do that here, but go ahead. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Well, hey, I caught the tail end of Mr. Bustani talking about the Social Security. I'm a man of 47. I'm a long way from ever getting that, and I'm a pessimist, so I don't think it's ever going to happen. But when in our recent history has 535 people in Congress ever fixed the damn thing?
You have to go back to probably they agreed to go to war, World War I, World War II, things like that. They don't fix anything. They normally destroy.
You got that right.
Matter of fact, you know why we have a problem with Social Security? Politicians.
Because they created it.
No, they created it and then they earned it. And what I mean by that, it was created and some people thought it was a cool deal. And then they earned it by giving it to people who don't deserve it. I guarantee you there are illegals making money from Social Security. Illegals. People that don't even belong in the country.
I agree. Well, let's go a step further. He
All
said
right.
if we get more people back to work or whatever, this thing might fix itself. Well, it'll never fix itself. The arithmetic, even if we go ahead and, 100 to 1 again, it still won't work. It still won't work. You might be able to find a way to balance the books for Social Security, but it's never going to pay what people thought it would pay in terms of purchasing power. They might get the numbers, but it won't pay for what.
Well, I don't think Social Security. It was never set up to be your only retirement. It was set up to be kind of a helper. But here's the problem: if you had taken your money and invested all the money you did over your time, you would have been way ahead of the curve compared to what Social Security is going to be. Way ahead of the curve.
I agree. Yeah, well, I agree. It's kind of meant to be a supplement, but even then, you're still never going to get the purchasing power that you need out of it. And
not the purchasing power, but remember I said it was never designed for that to be your sole retirement, so it's no way it would ever do that.
Well, the same can be said about your other plans, too. They will still never be able to purchase everything you thought they would be. It's going to get fixed, okay? They're going to pay everybody their Social Security benefits, but it's never going to buy what they thought it was. It's the same with your 401ks, and it's the same with all your pensions and stuff. You're going to get paid some number, but it's not going to maintain the lifestyle that you thought it would.
Well, that's why I think I'm just going to keep working until I die, and I'll be in good shape.
I'm in the same boat, partner. I've been unemployed oil field for 20 months now, but you got to do what you got to do to get by.
Yep, I agree. All right, brother. Appreciate the call.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. That's another industry Obama's trying to destroy along with Hillary. Tell people that. They won't listen to you. Jack in Alexandria. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, fine, man. I want to tell you two things, and I want to ask you something. Number one is your producer, Brandon. He's got to be one of the nicest people I've ever talked to.
Well, it took me a lot of training to get him. 27 months of me rubbing off on him. He's not only become a nice guy, he even had convinced a woman to get married. So look what I turned into the man's life already.
Man. That's a new low for you, Moon.
I didn't throw you under the bus. I threw you off the bus, but I didn't throw you under the bus, Brad. Brad is a great guy. Brad's done a hell of a job, and I'm thankful for him.
Well, Moon,
now, by the way, go ahead. Don't say he deserves any more pay raise. I'm not going there, but go ahead.
Pay raise, Moon. Anyway, Moon, here's the deal. The Obamacare, the private insurance companies' premiums are going out of sight. We won't be able to afford them. If she becomes the president, the Republican Party and the country is doomed. And I mean the Republican Party, and we're seeing all these wolves come out of the woodwork here. I think if Trump loses, I think the Republican Party in the United States of America is doomed.
No, you know why the Republican Party had come back? Because we've seen it. Bill Clinton, we've seen it under Barack Obama. Hillary's going to be so horrible the first 2 years, just like Barack Obama was. And then we're going to take the House and the Senate over, and we're going to dominate, and everybody's going to get excited. And then we're going to hear, boy, we can only win the presidency. And it's going to be too late because those Supreme Court justices would be devastating. I have no confidence. After I saw Bobby Jindal, I lost all confidence in Republicans. So I'm not betting Republicans would do anything. So
because the Republicans have had control of the House and the Senate.
Yep.
And they could have stopped 99% of all the things that Obama done.
Jack, I got to go. You're right on the money. They could have, but they chose not to. By the way, WikiLeaks dumped 2,000 more today. take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Before we jump gears and get back to all this talk and what's going on with politics and national election, I'm sure my guest wouldn't mind talking about this, but that's not why I got him on here. Dr. Kevin Duplichet, you heard me brag about him a lot of times. You hear us talk about NeoGraft, getting your natural hair to grow again. Doc, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, Moon. We're good. We are entering hair growing season. Now that summer's over and patients are starting to think about what to do for the fall or even next year. If you've been to the beach this summer, you're starting to see your hairline recede. Now's the time to start thinking about maybe fixing that so that next summer you'll be good to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But Doc, I like to. Everybody thinks of hair loss. They think about men, but women lose their hair too. And you're helping men and women to grow their natural hair back again.
No, I mean, it's so true. And you're right. Traditionally, I think we all think about men going bald, but it's, 30% of our patients are women. And it's sad because, there really are not a lot of great options for women other than to wear a wig, or, to consider hair transplant surgery. Some guys decide if I'm going bald, they'll shave their hair, wear it really short. But women just obviously just don't have that option. So it's been fun to be able to help so many of our lady patients who come in and just are really distraught, frustrated, and kind of at wit's end about what to do for hair loss. Mm-hmm. And so they're wonderful candidates for hair restoration or hair transplant surgery.
Now, Doc, tell us two things. Tell us, first of all, what is NeoGraft? Can you tell them kind of the procedure? Because everybody goes, oh, my God, I heard about that. But technology has changed so much in the profession.
Well, so NeoGraft, is a branded procedure that basically, rather than making an incision behind someone's hair, so traditional hair transplant surgery, a long incision is made and a strip of hair is taken out, and that's called the strip technique, and then that hair is cut up into little pieces. So, and it's a very good procedure, but the negative is that there's always a large scar in the back of the hair, so that, if you decide you want to wear your hair short, then obviously that incision can show. And if you need more than one grafting, then you keep working on that scar, and it gets wider and wider and wider, and it becomes problematic. So NeoGraft is a way to come in and take individual hair follicles, each hair follicle individually. We actually take it out, and then we graft it immediately so that there is no kind of cornrow or big plug look.
Sure.
It's 1 and 2 hair follicles that look incredibly natural. The real benefit is that the back of the head looks completely natural, and there's never any visible scarring.
Yeah, and that was the next thing we know about the scarring, but the process in itself is a process that's not that bad either. It's not as hard as it used to be.
Right. So people come in, and all of this is done under just a little local anesthesia. So patients come in, we do it in the office. I'll come in and mark patients in the morning, and we'll give them a little local anesthesia, so some little injections to numb everything up. And then basically most of our patients will take a little nap while we do the extractions or when we take the hair out. And depending on how many follicles, if it's 1,000 or 2,000 grafts, it can take 1 or 2 hours. Then they can get up and take a little break. We let them walk around. We'll get them a little lunch. And then we'll create the recipient sites or the donor sites where we're going to place the hair. And then we basically place the hair in these little sites. And, people are up and around the next day. They wear a bandage for a day. And most people are back at work within 2 days.
Wow. But that's a lot, and that's a lot different process than what it used to be.
Well, and there's so little pain with it. Now, you can imagine an incision from ear to ear behind your head. I mean, that's a long incision. That's a, 8-inch or 9-inch incision. Where NeoGraft, we're using 1 millimeter or 0.9 millimeter punches so that the incisions are so small that I don't want to say it's painless, but it's almost painless.
Yeah, wow, what a process. All right, what's the best way to get in touch with them? I know you got your website, drduplichet.com.
Right, we have a website, drduplichet.com. We have another website, NeoGraft of Louisiana, if people want to go to that and take a look at that. And, of course, they can call the office and talk to Megan or Lisa or Denise, and that number is 337-456-3282.
Okay, give out the website again, Doc, and the number.
Yeah, it's drduplashan.com or Neograft of Louisiana, and so we're on both of those websites. And, you know, I'm a provider for Neograft. We speak nationally. I just got back. I'll just mention that I just got back from the Nashville Facial Plastic Surgery meeting, which is our national meeting, and I gave a nice presentation about Neograft to all of the facial plastic surgeons at that meeting last week. And we're doing something similar this week for the American Board of Cosmetic Surgery. The phone number is 337-456-3282.
All right, I do want to give one other plug for you, Dr. Duplashan. And by the way, I've heard from people that have used this and done this and really satisfied customers. But you're also a cosmetic surgeon, so there are other processes. If they go to your website, there's all kind of things you do for men and women.
Yeah, we're trying to beautify Louisiana. We're definitely doing that.
Well, no wonder you keep calling me. I figured it was just to come see me. Now I know.
Yeah, no, we've got so many fun things and innovative things, from Kybella, which is fat melting, to laser hair removal, to skin tightening, non-invasive, to all of the things that people want to think about that you've seen on TV or read about. We do all of those wonderful things for people.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, drkevinduplashan.com. Don't forget, folks, know Doc personally. He's a man of his word. He stands by all of his procedures that he does, and his staff is excellent. The three names you mentioned, if they talk to any of them three, they'll be well informed. All right, did I lose him? All right. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it. I guess we lost him. Hung up in my ear. Wait till I see him again.
At least y'all got all the important stuff in before the phone went down.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. By the way, folks, I don't know if y'all caught this. It's on drudgereport.com. Russ Feingold, the liberal leftist United States senator, says Hillary might issue executive orders on guns. He says the former Democrat senator from Wisconsin, who is running again in an attempt to win back his old Senate seat, was recorded at a fundraiser saying Hillary Clinton might issue an executive order on guns. Video captured by James O'Keefe, $2,700 fundraising event. Feingold can be heard in the video. By the way, you can go listen to it, discussing what Hillary Clinton could do in relation to guns if she is the active president. If there's still Republican-controlled Congress, if Hillary is elected, is there anything she can do to a person, as Feingold within the video? Well, there might be an executive order. Folks, executive orders have gotten out of hand. They asked him, and he said, yes, she can do it. He did some executive order with respect to waiting periods, but what we need is a Senate, have her there, and then put pressure on the House, and we might win the House. So here we go. This guy's running back over the hill, leftist, socialist, Marxist, and this is what they want, gun control. When you vote for Hillary, you're voting for more gun control. That's fine. By the way, WikiLeaks dumps another 2,000 Podesta's emails. So that's developing. Bill Clinton got $1 million for a birthday check from Al-Qaeda. I'm going to repeat that again. Bill Clinton, $1 million birthday check from Al-Qaeda. Folks, why don't y'all think this is dangerous, you people that keep voting for people on the left? Black Sanders supporter rallies African Americans to GOP against Hillary Clinton. Nobody likes the woman. That's why the press is doing what they do. By the way, it says RNC TV ad spending for Trump. How much money do you think they're spending, Brian?
The Republican National Committee? Not much.
Zero.
Yep.
Republicans have done this to themselves so long. So, this is what I don't understand, Brandon. You have a Republican primary. Nobody accused anybody for cheating in a Republican primary, that look, right? So Trump wins it. He actually doesn't win it. He blows away the field. People are dropping out left and right because they can't hang. You get in the presidential race and you turn on your contestant who won the thing fair and square. These are the elite Republicans. These are the elite Republicans who really don't care if Republicans and Democrats win as long as they get theirs. Can you imagine, Brandon? You have a contest and you win and they get mad because you won? I can't help it. Bush had all the money and couldn't run a campaign. What did they say? He spent $50,000 per vote he got or something like that. It was unbelievable. 100,000 Pennsylvania voters switched from Democrat to Republican. Then it's showing polls. Here's another election poll. They're all tied up. Rasmussen has Trump ahead. There was another poll. The LA Times had Trump ahead.
Is that overall?
Yeah, overall. It's overall. Wow. It's not going by. State by state. Now, Brandy, as you know, we have electoral. L.A. Times. So anyway, it is what it is. But remember, the goal of the press. I think we're going to have to get out of here, Brandon. The goal of the press is to beat you off of Trump so you don't go vote because they'll take a win with 43% of vote. You know why I know that? They did it once. His name was Bill Clinton. You with me? His name was Bill Clinton. 43% of the vote. See you tomorrow, folks.